It's just gonna be spinach, dried cranberry, pomegranate, and cheese.
Hey George, how are you?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, you doing good?
Yeah, doing all right.
Okay. Where's home for you, and how would you describe your hometown in Bakersfield?
That's a good question. Follow me real quick.
So bacon is for the dried.
I'd say home for me is definitely Bakersfield. I was born in LA, but like I was raised in Bakersfield pretty much. So that's the home. That's what I consider. And I'll always see it that way, probably.
How did growing up in California shape your perspective on life?
That's interesting. I think being familiar with California and just kind of being really lucky with things like Disneyland and like the beaches and things like that, and just like, and honestly, the diversity that like California has. I think it's super useful in terms of being around different types of nationalities and backgrounds and cultures and ways of life and thinking that when you go somewhere where it's kind of lacking a bit, you really notice it.
What were your first impressions when you arrived in Vanazor?
Beautiful and green.
How's life living independently now compared to your time with the host family?
I enjoy it a lot more, and I enjoy the freedom, and I'm grateful.
What's one thing you love most about living in Armenia?
The generosity of its people.
How does the pace of life in Armenia compare to California?
Tastes a lot quicker back home, and a lot more communal here.
What's a cultural difference you didn't expect when you arrived?
The pushing to eat.
What's something from California that you miss the most?
Oh man, food and the beaches.
What inspired you to become a Peace Corps volunteer and teach English?
I wanted to do some good work and try to make an impact wherever I could.
How do you approach teaching English to your students?
With patience and understanding.
What's been the most rewarding part of your teaching experience?
When the kids show gratitude and enthusiasm.
How do you keep your students motivated and engaged?
Consistent compliments and encouragement, in all honesty.
What's the funniest or most memorable moment you've had in the classroom?
Oh man, there's so many, but I think when students are confident enough to make jokes in English.
How has teaching in Armenia changed your perspective on education?
Education is not the same everywhere, and you kind of have to make do with what you can.
What's one lesson you've learned from your
Hi, George.
What's one lesson you've learned from your students?
Grit. To always have grit, in all honesty.
What motivated you to join the peer support network and Peace Corps?
Watch your head. I just wanted to be there for people as much as I can.
How does being part of PSN help you stay grounded?
Realizing that we're all going through struggles and you have to be very understanding.
What's one piece of advice you've given someone facing mental health challenges during service?
To be kind to yourself. Always be kind to yourself.
How do you manage self-care while balancing teaching and other responsibilities?
Knowing when to take a step back.
What's been the most impactful thing you've learned about supporting others?
That, I don't know, it's very important, and not just for yourself and others, but for those around you.
How did you get into playing guitar, and how has it become a part of your life?
I pushed it off a long time ago, but it was one of those things I really wanted to do, and I finally did it, or started.
What's your favorite song to play on the guitar?
Anything that has beginner chords.
How do you make time for hobbies like playing guitar and staying fit while serving in Peace Corps?
Oh, I have plenty of time, so my hobbies, I have plenty of time to dedicate towards them.
What role does fitness play in your daily routine?
Not so much now, but when I have it in waves, you just feel good afterwards. You just feel good.
What's a fitness milestone you've achieved since moving to Armenia?
I did reach a certain amount of weight. I want to say like 75, 76 kilograms. And I knew that it was like more on the muscle side.
How would you describe your personal style?
Like a wannabe skater kid.
What clothing items make you feel most confident?
Boxy shirts and baggy pants.
What drew you to travel to Budapest, and what was your favorite part of the trip?
Ooh, Budapest? Well, cheap flights first of all. But the culture, and it was a different side of Europe.
How does solo travel differ from traveling with others for you?
You can just do your own thing, you know. You can be impulsive on your own dime, and it's really nice. It's very free.
What's on your travel wish list for Istanbul?
Ooh, just the main sites, but I would love to ride a ferry.
How do you approach exploring a new city on your own?
Have a few key places and leave a lot of room for exploring.
What's one destination you've traveled to that has surprised you?
Visiting many places here in Armenia have surprised me.
How do you balance Peace Corps responsibilities with your love of travel?
I job first always, and make room for the rest when you can.
What's the most memorable cultural experience you've had since arriving in Armenia?
I think being stranded in the middle of nowhere and having random strangers be kind to you.
What's a dish you've grown to love in Armenia?
Ooh, dolma, easy.
How do you manage the different expectations and routines of Peace Corps life?
Being organized is also, pretty important, and just not putting too much on my plate.
What's the best piece of advice you've received during your service?
Ooh, what's that saying? It's the days are short, something like that. But basically, it's a marathon.
How has living in Armenia changed your outlook on life?
It made me feel young, even though I am young. But there's a lot out there.
With 5 months left in Peace Corps, how are you reflecting on your experience so far?
I think the more that I reflect post-service, I'll learn more and more things and figure out new stuff.
What's the most fulfilling aspect of your service?
Oh, the kids and the friendships.
What are you considering for your next steps after Peace Corps?
Find a job first and foremost, hopefully with Peace Corps.
What excites you about possibly working for the Peace Corps?
Just kind of working for the organization that I dedicated 2 years of my life for.
Do you think you'll pursue grad school after Peace Corps, or are you considering something else?
Later. I'll do grad school later.
If you decided to stay with Peace Corps, what role would you consider?
If I stayed with Peace Corps, I don't know, wherever I fit.
What's the most important thing you want to accomplish before leaving Armenia?
I want to do better in my clubs.
What do you love most about the Peace Corps community in Armenia?
Peace Corps. How we're all going through the same struggles together.
What's a favorite memory you have with other volunteers?
Ooh, all the group hangouts, just as what we're doing now, Christmas house, things like that.
What do you value most about your friendships within the Peace Corps?
The fact that we're all in this together and we're all there for each other.
How do you stay connected with friends and family while abroad?
That's easy, social media and phone calls.
What's the best part about spending time with other volunteers outside of teaching?
Outside of teaching? It's nice to have a journey with someone, or just going through the same journey with people. I really enjoy that.
What's a fun tradition you've created with fellow volunteers?
Christmas house. I mean, this doesn't look like it, but Christmas house.
What's something most people don't know about you?
I don't know. It takes a lot for me to start being more social.
What's been the hardest challenge you faced during your service, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, man. Language and just studying more.
What's the most meaningful piece of feedback you've received from your students or colleagues?
Piece of feedback. I think to have patience. Always have patience.
What's one habit you've developed since arriving in Armenia that has positively impacted you?
But being a lot more organized, especially with stuff like my calendar.
How do you stay grounded when things get tough?
I don't take myself too seriously, and so I'm always able to take a step back and think about things.
What's your go-to activity when you need to recharge?
YouTube or play guitar.
What's the most important lesson you've learned about yourself so far?
That I can adapt to a lot of different things, and I have a lot more perseverance than I know.
If you could go back to your first day as a PCV, what advice would you give yourself?
To be even more flexible than I thought I already was.
How has your time in Peace Corps shaped your career aspirations?
I definitely think a lot more broad now, and what else I can do versus the narrow focus.
What's a skill or experience you've gained in Peace Corps that you want to continue developing?
Career-wise, I don't know, maybe my presentation skills, but personally, striving for new experiences.
What's something you'd like to accomplish in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I hope I have a good job. I hope I have a really good job.
What's the most exciting thing about your next adventure, whether it's grad school or career shift?
To see what's out there and to live a different lifestyle again, and just the nuances that come with that.
What's the biggest piece of advice you give to someone considering Peace Corps?
To do it.
What's the best meal you've cooked while in Armenia?
I'm not a great chef, but I made some really good garlic bread, if that helps.
If you could learn any skill instantly, what would it be?
To speak a language.
What's your favorite hobby you've picked up during your time abroad?
Guitar, for sure.
What's your favorite way to unwind after a busy week?
Play some casual video games or to just watch a lot of YouTube again.
What's your hidden talent that no one knows about?
I feel like they're all pretty out there. They're all public, I think.
If you could sum up your Peace Corps experience in one word, what would it be?
Life-changing. We'll put those words together.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, George.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, and I'll see you around.
Yeah, see you around.